Welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today I'm canning corned beef. So I thought I'd bring you along for a ride. Enough of you commented that you wanted to see this, and I've got corned beef on the stove right now. But so I have, let's see, there's 4.5, 6.5, so that's 7, 8, 9. There's 10, little over 10 pounds of corned beef here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to can it in quart jars today, just because it'll save a little bit of room. And what I can do is we can have a dinner and a breakfast out of one jar. So yeah, anyway, that's what I'm going to do, because I have the rest of the corned beef from last year is canned in pint jars. So, and I had quart jars readily available, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this corned beef out of all the packaging and rinse it really, really well. I'll bring you back when I'm cubing it up to go in the jars. Okay, I'll be right back. YouTube time. All right, I'm back and I'm getting ready to cut this meat up. This is such an easy canning process. I did want to go over the difference between a point cut. You can see all the fat. This is really a fatty cut of meat. And so what I'm going to do, because these, it's a beef brisket is what it is. And there's a leaner part, tends to be a tough cut of meat. So you do have to cook it low and slow. But this doesn't have near the amount of fat, neither one of these. They have a fat cap on them, but they're not marbled through so heavily. So what I've decided to do, since the butcher was nice enough to bless me with the flats for the same price as the points, I'm going to mix them. I cooked the other point down and I wasn't really happy with the results for us, so I'm going to mix them and I'll can it together, and then I won't be disappointed. The one thing I will tell you, if you're going to spend the money, go ahead and spend the extra. If your butcher doesn't bless you like mine did, go ahead and spend a little bit of extra money to get the better quality and put it away. So I'm just going to cut these up into kind of a bite-sized cube, and if I see a big hunk of fat, I'm going to cut it away and toss it. And today I'm not canning my corned beef with the spice packet, because I may not want that kind of spice going on in the mixture when I open the jar. So I may, I'm just going to leave it out. Some spices tend to change too when they've been canned. So yeah, you can see all the marbling in that piece of meat, I hope. There you go, yes. Anyway, getting this done. I'm excited to have more corned beef in the pantry. It's just comforting to know that you always have a meal at your fingertips. And for those of you that aren't sure how long this stuff should keep, if you store it in a cool, dry, dark environment, it will keep for years. I mean, when you buy corned beef in the can, and I have it in my pantry, it's $4 something a pound. It is good, but it's expensive. But it keeps, I think, usually the shelf life is 3 to 5 years on them. And who knows how long they were canned before they actually stamped that shelf life on there. I'm always in question about that. But anyway, so this is just going to extend what we have already in the pantry. And I'm just taking advantage of a really good bargain that was at our store. And usually, I have to say, usually the point cuts are not quite as fatty as this one. That's probably why I was disappointed with the other one that I cooked. So the dogs will end up getting that cooked down with some rice for their food. The one I've got on the stove is what they call a round. So you've got a point, a flat, and a round. And the round is really, really lean. There's not even a fat cap on it. So it just makes for a delicious, less fat kind of meal. Anyway, fat does mean flavor though, I will tell you that. Let's get into this flat here and show you the difference. Cut some of this off. And here we go. I do love corned beef. I got the round and the flats because I wanted to make sandwiches and stuff. And but you guys have seen my video. I made corned beef hash patties. Those are delicious. We'll just do a big old hash in the Dutch oven. When we're camping, throw a couple eggs on top. I also like to do a baked egg version. So next time I open a jar, I'll probably go ahead and show you a baked egg version of this. And when I'm buying meat to can, I will tell you, I gauge how many pounds I'm buying and then kind of how many jars I'm doing by that. A quart jar will hold 2 pounds of meat. Now, just gonna cut some of this off. Usually I do it in pints, but today I'm doing it in quarts. And if I don't have enough to fill my canner, which is 7 quarts, I don't want to run my canner half full. So if I don't have enough, I'm going to can me up some beans, some chili beans, because we love them. Okay. Oh, the difference in the meat is night and day. So you have these 2 pieces right there. You can see the difference side by side. So it'll be good to mix them. And we won't have, I don't want to waste that other point. Okay, so I'm going to get the rest of this cut up and I'm going to mix it all through so it's even pieces. Opening a jar of this to let's say make breakfast with part of it, and then you want to have a little bit of corned beef with some potatoes and carrots, which I do want to plan to can some of those here pretty quick. Open up a jar, throw it together. You got a fast food, delicious meal, homemade, just like you just took it off the stove. I can't even tell you how delicious it is to have this stuff on your pantry shelf. All right, enough of my babbling, and I'll get moving on the rest of this meat. I'll be back. It's so easy. This is all you're going to do is start loading these jars. The meat's already been brined and it has enough spice to it that you really don't need to add anything until you take it out and cook it. And then your options, you have a little bit more options available to you. So I just like to really pack it in there. You can, you don't have to add water because it's going to render its own juice and fat. And I do from about 1 inch of headspace. It will shrink down a bit. You'll see that at the end. And it's going to be delicious. So I had to cut quite a bit of fat off, so I really am not going to get as much as I was hoping. But the nice thing is the sale is still going. If I decide I want to do some more, I can. And actually, it's only the 11th, so we could end up with a pretty big sale this coming week. Our sales rotate; most of them rotate on Wednesdays. So anyway, there you go. I'm just going to load these jars up. Give you an idea how many. I know I'm going to get 4 quarts for sure. Maybe 5. But I think it's just going to end up to be 4, which is 8 pounds of meat. Which is, that's a lot of meat. So that means we cut off about, a couple pounds worth of meat, or of fat, sorry. Okay, so we're just going to load this last jar here. And then I've got to get to making some chili beans, so I don't have a canner that's just going with 4 quarts in it for 90 minutes using the power. And this is going to be really close, which is fabulous. If I have a couple pieces that I can't cram in a jar here. And I don't want them overpacked. I want to make sure that you have that head space. And you're going to check for air bubbles and all that. Make sure you debubble. And this helps pack it in there too, pretty tight, so you don't have that problem. You'll be washing your rims. And okay, I'm just going to continue this until I get it all in here. And this one's got plenty of room for some more. Okay, put these in here. If I'm going to take one out, it'll be a fatty piece. Okay, that looks good. Check this one. You want to make sure you don't have any big air pockets down in the center too, because that could cause some problems. All right, I'm going to wipe these rims down, put the lids on. I only have a couple of pieces of meat left, and I'm actually going to throw those down into the pot that I've got braising right now on the stove, so I don't waste any of it. And there you go. That's how easy it is. It's just super simple. So I'll wipe them down, put my lids and rings on. They've been, they're in hot water on the stove. And even though this is cold and we're going to bring the temperature of the canner up all together, those, I just feel like having those rings and lids warm helps seat that seal a little bit better. All right, so we have 4 quarts of corned beef in the canner and 3 quarts of chili beans. And so kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Get a little bit of both, and the chili beans will be delicious. You guys have seen that before. Oh, so good. And if you haven't, go back and watch my chili bean recipe on how I can chili beans. I do them a couple different ways, but this is an easy way. So I'll bring you back when I'm pulling them out of the canner. Okay, so I'm back. The pressure canner has come down to a 0 pressure, and it's still really hot in there. I mean, you got to realize that got up to a temperature that can kill botulism. So we know that it's really, really hot. And we're going to bring this out. Okay, I want to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. Yep, you can. But I'm going to bring it down over here. Maybe I'll zoom back out. Sorry. I need a cameraman. I truly do. Okay, I'm going to bring them out of the pot and over here onto the towel. And I think I really want a second towel on there, just because it needs a barrier between the granite and the towel. So that's corned beef. And you can see, I mean, that shrinks up for sure. It's going to shrink up. You're going to have liquid in your canner just because the lids expand and contract and expand and contract. There's some chili beans. And here's some more corned beef. Yum. And there you go, corned beef. You can see it boiling inside the jars. That is absolutely normal and okay for that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go buy all of these jars here with a towel and a cloth, and I'm going to just tighten that lid, because what happens is if you don't get it tightened down right, your liquid is going to boil out of there, and that's not good. So that one I got tightened down. One more, and then we're done. And you guys, I hope this inspires you to get some things on sale, try to do some home canning, be a little more self-reliant for yourself, and enjoy the harvest of the sales, as it were. You know what? We quite frequently eat off of sales. I don't really buy anything unless it is on sale, and so I just trust that you would try to save your family some money, and I hope you come back. I hope if you like this, you give me a thumbs up on the rating, and if you really like it, I hope you post it on Facebook. See you next time. God bless.